So the goal of this video is to figure out what is Tetrahymena. What are some basic things that we need to know and understand about Tetrahymena as we begin to think about working with them? So let's start by looking at Tetrahymena. So right now, this is a video clip, a short video clip of Tetrahymena, and we are at 100 times magnification. So that means we're zooming in 100 times on these little guys. So they're pretty tiny, as you can see. So a couple characteristics of these Tetrahymena. First of all, they live in fresh water, things like ponds. They belong to a group of organisms that we call protists. So protists. They eat little things that are in the water. Those could be things like bacteria in the water or dead stuff. And finally, they use something called cilia to sweep particles into their mouth. And I have mouth in quotation marks because they don't actually have a mouth. It's more like an opening. So here in this picture, we can see those little tiny hairs. These are the cilia that they're using to sweep things into their mouths. A couple more characteristics of Tetrahymena. First of all, they need to be able to find food in order to survive, and also they need to avoid dangers, which would be mostly other things eating them. But they don't have any eyes or ears or a nose, so they have to figure out how to find food and how to avoid danger in a different way. So it turns out that they are able to sense and then respond to things, chemicals particularly, that are in the water. And we already know that this is called chemotaxis, when something responds to a chemical in the water. So the taxis means it's a movement in response, and chemo is going to stand for chemical. So we can have two kinds of chemotaxis. We can have positive chemotaxis, which means the Tetrahymena swim towards a chemical that's in the environment. This is in opposite as to a negative chemotaxis, which means that the Tetrahymena are swimming away from a chemical in their environment. So now that you know a little bit more about Tetrahymena, we're gonna continue to kind of work with these organisms and really figure out how can we set up some investigations in the classroom to figure out how Tetrahymena respond when a particular chemical is placed in its environment.